We are reading from Krishna book, chapter 14, from volume 2, entitled The Great Sage Narad Visits the Different Homes of Lord Krishna. So we are beginning with new chapter. So we will read one by one all the paragraph and we discuss some important points from this chapter. Yeah, okay. So I will read first paragraph, then Aryan Prabhu, you can read next paragraph. The great sage Narada heard that Lord Krishna had married 16,000 wives after he had killed the demon Narakasur, sometimes called Bhaumasur. Narad became astonished that Lord Krishna had expanded himself into 16,000 forms and married these wives simultaneously in different palaces. Being inquisitive as to how Krishna was managing his household affairs with so many wives, Narad desired to see these pastimes and so set out to visit Krishna's different homes. When Narad arrived in Dvārakā, he saw that the gardens and parks were full of various flowers of different colors and orchards that were overloaded with variety of fruits. Beautiful birds were chirping and peacocks were delightfully crowing. There were tanks and ponds full of blue and red lotus flowers, and some of the sites were filled with varieties of lilies. The lakes were full of nice swans and cranes whose voices resounded everywhere. In the city, there were as many as 900,000 great palaces built of first class marble with gates and doors made of silver. The posts of the houses and palaces were bedecked with jewels such as touchstone, sapphires, and emeralds, and the floors gave off a beautiful luster. The highways, lanes, streets, crossings, and marketplaces were all beautifully decorated. The whole city was full of residential homes, assembly houses, and temples, all of different architectural beauty. All of this made Dwarka a glowing city. The big avenues, crossings, lanes, streets, and also the thresholds of every residential house were very clean. On both sides of every path there were bushes, and at regular intervals there were large trees that shaded the avenue so that the sunshine would not bother the passerby. In this greatly beautiful city of Dvarika, Lord Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, had many residential quarters. The great kings and princes of the world used to visit these palaces just to worship him. The architectural plans were made personally by Viśvakarmā, the engineer of the demigods, and in the construction of the palaces he exhibited all of his talents and ingenuity. These residential quarters numbered more than 16,000, and a different queen of Lord Krishna resided in each of them. The great sage Narad entered one of these houses and saw that the pillars were made of coral and the ceilings were bedecked with jewels. The walls, as well as the arches between the pillars, glowed from the decorations of different kinds of sapphires. Throughout the palace, there were many canopies made by Viśvakarmā that were decorated with strings of pearls. The chairs and other furniture were made of ivory, bedecked with gold and diamonds, and jeweled lamps dissipated the darkness within the palace. There was so much incense and flavored gum burning that the scented fumes were coming out of the windows. The peacock sitting on the steps became illusioned by the fumes, mistaking them for clouds, and began dancing jubilantly. There were many maidservants, all of whom were decorated with gold necklaces, bangles, and beautiful saris. There were also many male servants who were nicely dressed in cloaks and turbans and jeweled earrings, because as they were, servants were all engaged in different household duties. Hare Krishna. So here the opulence of Dwarka is mentioned very elaborately. Where there is Krishna, where there are devotees, there is always opulence, victory, beauty, and everything. Where there is no Krishna, no devotees, there is always problems, miseries, sufferings, and so on. So we see from this pastime of Narad Muni coming to Dwarika to visit Krishna's homes. What is the meaning of Narada? Nara meaning Narayan. Da means Denewala. So Narada means one who gives the living entity Lord Krishna, Lord Narayan. How he gives Lord Krishna? By speaking or spreading the glories about Lord Krishna. Narada Muni Bajaya Veena, Radhika Ramana Name. So always he is carrying the Veena, and on that Veena he's singing and chanting the names of Radhika Raman, Radharaman. So Narada is one of the most famous preacher in the whole creation. And Prabhupada also, in the footsteps of Narad Muni, traveled all over the world, preaching Krishna consciousness in every town and village. So in this chapter, we are reading Narad Muni visiting all 16,108 homes of Krishna in Dvarika Dham. And very elaborately, he's, he's observing and experiencing the opulence and beauty of Dvarika Dham. Yes. Please read Aryan Prabhu, and after Aryan Prabhu, Prashant Prabhu can be ready.
Narada saw that Lord Krishna was sitting with Rukmani Devi, the mistress of that particular palace, who was bearing the rod of a camera whisk. Uh, where is it? Yes, camera whisk. Even though there were many thousands of maidservants who were who were who were equally beautiful and qualified and who were of the same age. Rukmani Devi personally was engaged in fanning Lord Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, worshipped even by Narada, but still, as soon as he saw Narada enter the palace, Krishna got down immediately from Rukmani's bed steeds and stood up to honor him. Lord Krishna is the teacher of the whole world, and in order to instruct everyone how to respect a saintly person like Narada Muni, Krishna bowed down, touching his helmet to the ground. Not only did Krishna bow down, but he also touched the feet of Narada and with folded hands requested him to sit on his chair. Lord Krishna is the supreme personality worshipped by all devotees. He is the most worshipped spiritual master of everyone. The Ganges waters which emanates from his feet sanctifies the tree world. All qualified Brahmanas worship him, and therefore he is called Brahmanya Deva.
Brahmanya Deva. Yes, so here it is mentioned Lord Krishna is the teacher of whole world. Krishna Vande Jagat Guru. So, in order to teach everyone how to respect a saintly person, how to respect Guru, Sadhu, Lord Krishna got up from his throne and he personally came down and offered obeisances to Narad Muni. Hare Krishna. Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kamsa Kamsa Chanura Mardana Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. ऐसा एक श्लोक आता है. तो himself he's teaching by his example how we should respect the Brahmanas and sages like Narad Muni, like Sudama. So he also touched the feet of Narada and with folded hands requested him to sit on his chair. Then he washed the lotus feet of Narad Muni with the Ganges water. And all qualified Brahmanas, although Krishna is worshipped by all the Brahmanas and he is worshipping the Brahmanas. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahman Hitaya Cha. He who is worshipped by Brahmanas and he who is serving the Brahmanas is what is Lord Sri Krishna. Yes. Read one more paragraph.
Yes, where is it? Here. Brahmanya means one who fully possesses the Brahmanical qualifications, which are said to be as follows: truthfulness, self control, purity, mastery of the senses, simplicity, full knowledge of by practical application, and engagement in devotional service. Lord Krishna personally possesses all these qualities, and he is worshipped by persons who themselves possess such qualities. There are thousands and millions of names of Lord Krishna. Vishnu Sahasranam, and all of them are given to him because of his transcendental qualities. Lord Krishna in Dvāraka enjoyed the pastimes of a perfect human being. When therefore he washed the feet of the sage Narada and took the water on his head. Narada did not object, knowing well that Lord did so to teach everyone how to respect saintly persons. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is original Narayana and eternal friend of all living entities, thus perceived the sage Narada according to Vedic regulative principles. Welcoming him and with sweet nectarian words, he addressed Narada as Bhagwan, or one who is self-sufficient, possessing all kinds of knowledge, renunciation, strength, fame, beauty, and similar other opulences. He particularly asked Narada, "What can I do in your service?" Narada replied, "My dear Lord, the kind of behavior
Thank you.
by your
So, so here we
mm,
are seeing that after worshipping Narada based on his position and spiritual advancement, now Lord Shri Krishna is inquiring from Narad Muni, how can I serve you? What can I do in your service? So very wonderfully he treated his guest Narad Muni and he served him, which is appropriate for every householder. And also Prabhupada mentions the qualities of a Brahmana. So Brahmana means truthfulness, self-control, purity, mastery of senses, simplicity, satyam, shaucham, shantir, arjavam. It comes in Bhagavad Gita 13.8 to 12. उसमें लिखा हुआ है. Like that, there are 20 qualities of a Brahmana. And one who possesses these qualities, Lord Krishna becomes very much pleased with such people. And he worships these Brahmanas to his full satisfaction. And Narad Muni is such a Brahmana. He is a Narad Rishi, Dev Rishi. He is sage among demigods. So very wonderful. जैसे राज ऋषि होता है, sage among politicians. वैसे देव ऋषि, sage among demigods. Okay. Somebody else can read. Prashant Prabhu, please read next two paragraphs. And after Prashant Prabhu, Aditya Prabhu can be ready.
Hare Krishna. Narad replied, "My dear Lord, this kind of behavior of by your lordship is not at all astonishing because you are the supreme personality of Godhead and master of all species of living entities. You are the supreme friend of all living entities, but at the same time, you are the supreme you are the supreme chastiser of the miscreants and the envious. I know that your lordship has descended on this earth for the proper maintenance of the whole universe. Your appearance, therefore, is not caused by any other agency, by your sweet will only. You agree to appear and disappear. It is my great fortune that I have been able to see your lotus feet today. Anyone who became attached to your lotus feet is elevated to the supreme position of neutrality and is con- uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. My Lord, you are unlimited. There is no limit of your opulence. Great demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are always busy placing you within their heart and meditating upon you. The conditioned soul who have now been put into the blind well of material existence can get out of this material captivity only by accepting your lotus feet.
Eternal
Thus,
captivity.
you are the eternal captivity
Hmm.
only
Yeah.
by accepting your lotus feet. Thus, you are the only shelter of all conditioned souls. My dear Lord, you have very kindly asked what you can do for me. I answer to this, I simply request that I May I not forget your lotus feet at any time. I do not care where I may be, but I pray that I may be allowed to constantly remember your lotus feet. The benediction which the sage Narada asks from the Lord is the ideal prayers of all pure devotees. Pure devotee never asks for any kind of material or spiritual benediction from the Lord, but his only prayer is that he may not forget the lotus feet of the Lord in any condition of life. A pure devotee does not care whether he is put in heaven or hell. He is satisfied anywhere, provided he can constantly remember the lotus feet of the Lord. Lord Chaitanya also taught this same process of prayers in his Shikshashtaka, in which he clearly stated that all he wanted was devotional service, birth after birth. Pure devotee does not even want to stop the repetition of birth and death. To a pure devotee, it does not matter whether he has to take birth again in the various species of life. His only ambition is that he may not forget the lotus feet of the Lord in any condition of life.
Yes, very important. What a prayer Narada is offering. You see, he's telling that Lord Krishna told, whatever you ask, I will provide. Narada is telling, I only want to remember your lotus feet. I may be in any condition of life, my dear Lord. Please do not give me forgetfulness. And please give me remembrance of your name, fame, glory, pastime, and interage in each and every condition. And Prabhupada is quoting the Shikshashtakam prayers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, fourth verse. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware, bhavatat bhakti rahe tukit vahi. Oh my dear Lord, all I want is your devotion service, birth after birth. And pure devotees, Prabhupada says, they are not very much concerned even to go back home, back to Godhead. Their main business is to chant Hare Krishna, remember Krishna, and always serve Krishna in whether in hell or heaven. It doesn't matter. They just want to be servant of Krishna's devotees. So here it is mentioned that Narada wanted not to forget the lotus feet of the Lord in any condition of life. So this is the first home he visited, the home of Rukmini Maya, where Krishna was residing. Now he goes to second home. Let's see what happens. Yes, Aditya Prabhu, please read.
After departing from the palace of Rukmini, Naradji wanted to see the activities of Lord Krishna's internal potency, Yoga Maya. Thus he entered the palace of another queen. There he saw Lord Krishna engaged in playing chess along with his dear wife and Uddhava. The Lord immediately got up from his seat and invited Narad Muni to sit on his personal seat. The Lord again worshipped him with as much paraphernalia for reception as he had in the palace of Rukmini. After worshipping him properly, Lord Krishna acted as if he did not know what had happened in the palace of Rukmini. He therefore told Narada, "My dear sage, where your holiness comes, he when your holiness comes here, you are full in yourself. Although we are householders and are always in need, you don't require anyone's help because you are self-satisfied. Under the circumstances, what reception can we offer you, and what can we possibly give you? Yet, since your holiness is a Brahmana, it is our duty to offer you something as far as possible. Therefore, I beg your pleasure to order me. What can I do for you?"
Yes. So here it is
Nar-
mentioned that uh, Brahmana means they are always self-satisfied because they are fully dependent on Krishna's mercy. So he's telling here that I beg your pleasure to order me. And already the qualities of Brahmana are mentioned previously. Same reception what Krishna gave in the palace of Rukmani, he is giving again in the second home where Narada is visiting. Yes, read one more paragraph.
Naradji knew everything about the pastimes of the Lord. So, without any further discussion, he simply left the palace silently in great astonishment over the Lord's activities. He then entered another palace. This time, Naradji saw that Lord Krishna was engaged as an affectionate father petting his small children. From there, he entered another palace and saw Lord Krishna playing, preparing to take his bath. In this way, Saint Narada entered each and every one of the 16,000 residential palaces of the queens of Lord Krishna, and in each of them he found Krishna engaged in different ways.
He entered 16,108 palaces, and every time when Krishna saw Narad Muni, he offered him his throne, he offered him respects, he offered him water, he washed his feet, he glorified Narad Muni every time. He never ever missed the dharma of householder, grahastha, to respect the sages, brahmanas, and saintly people. So Krishna perfectly followed the role of a householder, and that's what the Lord teaches. S- Uh, what is that verse? Dharmam to sakshat bhagavad parinitam. Dharma means what Krishna is teaching all of us. That is the absolute dharma. All other is kind of dharma. The real dharma is what Krishna comes to teach us. Okay, I will read this small paragraph and then we stop for today because I have to go for some seva. In one palace, he found Krishna engaged in offering oblations to the sacrificial fire and performing the ritualistic ceremonies of the Vedas as enjoined for householders. In तो ये जो पहला पॉइंट लिखा है ये क्या है? दिस इज अग्निहोत्रास. अग्निहोत्रास क्या? फायर sacrifice. You do some yagya and you burn fire. So some people do that. In another palace, Krishna was found performing panchayagya sacrifice, which is compulsory for the householder. This yagya is also known as panchashuna. Knowingly or unknowingly, everyone, specifically the householder, is committing five kinds of sinful activities. Wow. When we receive water from a water pitcher, we kill many germs that are in it. Similarly, when we use a grinding machine or take foot stub, we kill many germs. When sweeping or floor, or igniting a fire, we kill many germs. And when we walk on the street, we kill many ants or other insects. Prabhupada is telling every householder, all of us, whether we are householder or we are staying in house, we are we are committing five kinds of sins every day, knowingly or unknowingly. We are performing these sinful activities. So what are those five kinds of sinful activities? जब हम लोग पानी निकालते हैं घड़े में से, फिल्टर में से पानी निकालते हो, तो we kill so many germs unknowingly. First sin. Second sin, when we are grinding, जब आप मिक्सर में कुछ ग्राइंड करते हो, मसाले या फिर नारियल, चटनी, whatever, we are killing so many germs. झाड़ू लगाते वक्त झाड़ू पोछा मारते हैं, we are killing so many ants, we are killing so many insects, so many germs. While igniting fire, जब आप गैस जलाते हो with lighter, with matches, we are killing germs. And while walking on the street, when we are walking in the house, when we are walking on the streets, we are killing so many ants, cockroaches, insects. So to get rid of these five kinds of sinful activities, every householder is supposed to perform pancha yagya or pancha shuna sacrifice so that he may get rid of these sinful reactions.